We actually have Mr. Robert Burns on, and thank you. Welcome you to the Hard Talk with Jakim. And before we move on to Mr. Robert Burns, and I want you to understand we're gonna be going back and forth with a lot of particular things, right? Because Belinda's been on it with me, so we know how we flow. But one of the things that I see was that in 2019, people were coming down there and they were helping y'all to try to get this to the governor. In 2020, he decides to release, am I correct, Mr. Burns? He decides to release the footage in 2020, or was it 2021?
Well, the family only the family viewed footage approximately October, I believe, of 2020. I may be a little bit off on the time, but Miss Ronald Green's mother, Miss Mona, readily said that, and I thought that they had seen it all, but she had said that they only saw snippets. So I don't believe what everybody saw about 2 weeks ago was ever public, even in a private viewing. That's just my take on it. Supposedly they have now released everything. They say they have nothing else in their possession. Interestingly enough, though, one of the key videos came from the lieutenant, and he apparently held that video back until as recently as about 3 weeks ago, and his was the one that was most revealing, because the vast majority of Dakota DeMoss's video, there was no audio. And so that's why, I put together a 48-minute video, and I gave priority to the segments where at least one trooper had audio on so that we could try to hear what was going on. But there's a lot of, the main character, Chris Hollingsworth, had a 43-minute gap. I believe I have that. I may be off a minute or two, but where his whole body camera was turned off in its entirety. Yes. Yeah, so to answer your question succinctly, though, I think there was a limited edition, if you will, that was allowed for the family and the attorneys to view late last year, and then this year, as I said, the video in everything they say they have. So I'll take them. I guess I'll have to take them at their word, even though, as Mr. Franklin says, it's clearly a cover up here. Clearly, I don't know that you can trust very much of anything they say, but they say that every bit of footage they have has now been made public.
Well, and thank you, Mr. Byrd. Let me just say this. We have the same thing going on, kind of similar, but it was gunshots with a young brother here that was Lamont Moses in Delaware. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they always do this thing where they let the family see it piecemeal, the videos. It's not so important to have the body cameras. Don't get me wrong, I love the body cameras. But it's more important that those body cameras are rolling at the time of the incident. And I know Louisiana International, Belinda, y'all been pushing for those body cameras to be on every time you have an incident. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, Jakim. And more so than that, we want to make sure that all of our law enforcement have body cameras. That was something that we have pushed, and we have been fighting hard to make sure that the resources are there for our law enforcement to have body cameras, period. It's no reason why that, we're in the 21st century and all of this craziness that's going on with the police is there to protect the police as well as our residents and our citizens. The body cameras are a must because we will not tolerate the cover-up.
That is right. And usually, and like in everything else in your life, the crime is usually not as bad, but in this case it is. But the cover-up is even worse. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Randolph Franklin?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. This is a blatant cover-up of murder. I mean, this is what I don't understand from the public. How, in the George Ford case, we're sending the other 3 officers to jail because they watched. In Louisiana, these sergeants, lieutenants, and captains and chiefs have not been arrested, and they participated So the difference is they watched it, they're going to jail. You participate in a murder, complicit in it, and you have not been arrested, or you have not lost your job, you have not been detained. Somehow we believe if a policeman has to go get another job, he's inconvenienced enough. He becomes a gypsy cop, and he runs around from precinct to precinct or state to state, and somehow people feel sorry for him when he's complicit in a murder. So I come from all the time, and body cams, here's the deal with body cams, and I ask everybody this one question, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to send myself to jail. But we are relying on body cameras, and we need them 100%. I agree with Ms. Brown 100%. We need them, but we need some punishment for them for turning it off. Because most coppers, there's no punishment. And I'm not going to send myself to jail, and most people are not going to send themselves to prison. So they will destroy those body cams, they will shut them off, they will hide the evidence like they did 2 years in this case. That's why we need everybody. You got a phone, you need to record every single interaction with the police yourself. Because there's no way in heck they should have been able to hide this video for 2 years. And we should never trust the police when they say they're giving you everything. Let's